Shalom. Okay, so my name is Yaisa, and I wanted to come on here and record a vision that I had a while back. I got the courage to do it because everybody else is sharing their prophetic dreams and visions. Might as well share mine, right? So, anyway, I had a vision that the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, gave me before I had came into the truth. I came into the truth around April of this year. Um, yeah, he brought me into it. But before he brought me into it, I had a vision of what my cousin, who was in the truth for 4 years, she believes that this is the kingdom of heaven. So I had this dream, this vision, sorry. I had this vision of me. Uh, the setting was me in this unfamiliar place. I've never been to this place before, but I remember standing on the outside of this gigantic kingdom. It was this beautiful kingdom, and the roads, the pavements were gold, and most of the building was gold. Um, this castle was gold. It was gold everywhere, and I was just marveled at how beautiful it was. And I was a part of this vision. I was actually there with these other people. So as I'm looking around, I'm marveled. I see a gang of black people. It's just a lot of them, a whole bunch of them, and now I see myself with them, and I'm not myself. I'm not who I used to be. Like I was beautiful. I mean, not to say I wasn't beautiful now, but I was like really attractive, and they were attractive too. Everybody was super flawless and amazing, and everybody was married. All the women were married. That was something that stood out. Everybody was married, and we were all grateful and happy being under our husbands. And there was a bunch of children in the streets. They were like running around, laughing and having fun, and they had no worries. Like we didn't have any worries. They didn't have no worries. It was all beautiful. And then I remember that we all had one mind. All the black people, we all had one mind. Even the children who were born, they all had one mind as well. And they all knew exactly what it was that we did to cause us to go into bondage for all these, throughout history. Like we went through bondage, and we all knew what the other races did to us. And it was just a strong hatred. Like we hated them. But we loved each other. We loved each other, and we really loved each other. Like I've never seen us love each other so much. It was so beautiful. So beautiful. We loved each other, but we hated everybody else. And and we were all immortal. Like it was people who were like 100 years old, but they didn't look 100 years old. They looked very extremely young. Like they looked like they were in their 20s. They were so young looking. And but we were the only ones who were like that. Everybody else wasn't like that. And but you could decide to die if you wanted to. If you didn't want to live, you could decide to die. You could make that choice. But anyway, that was also something that stood out a lot in a vision. And then on one side of the vision, so we're in this, like I said, it's like this kingdom looking thing. Like it's very beautiful, and we were there. We were there walking amongst it, living amongst it. And then on the other side, it was a group of white people, like a lot of white people actually. They were behind this fence, like this gate, like this really nice gate. They were behind it, and they didn't get to enter. Um, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking they didn't get to enter, but we got to enter on the other side, and they were just really vexed. They were so jealous. They were so jealous to where they had strong hatred as well. Like the same way we had one mind as black people, they had one mind as white people. They hated our ass. Like they hated the fact that we were, I don't know, like they were just really jealous, and it was some who were very like remorseful for what they did to us. They like were very ashamed, and then it was other white people who were plotting. They were plotting on how to take over again, and they were like plotting in secrecy, and they would try to like carry out their plans, but it would always fall through. It would never get carried out. Um, so then the scene changed, and then we're on this. So I'm no longer a part of the vision, but I'm looking at this spacecraft looking thing, and it's a bunch of black people that's about to get off of it. But before they got off of it, before they even got to this other place, this other nation, it was like a nation where it was a bunch of like Chinese looking people with flat faces and big ass heads. We had went there, and they had got word that we were coming, and they were super excited for our arrival. They were so excited. They're like, "Oh my God, they're coming! They're coming! They're coming!" And they got everything ready for us to come. They got like the best of wine, the best food, the best of everything, because they knew that we were coming, and they were just super excited. And then everybody who was Asian like gathered around, waiting for us to come. It was so many of them, and then we touched down, and they got off this aircraft thing, and then now I'm a part of the vision again. So I'm getting off the aircraft, and I'm walking with my husband. He's in front of me, and they started bowing. All of the people, all of these flat-faced bitches, all started bowing. They were all bowing, and they were just like all on their knees, and they started like kissing, my husband's feet, and other men. They started kissing their feet, and we just started walking and whatever. And it was very clear. It was very clear. Like this is something that stood out in this particular vision. They were saying that it's two things. It's one or two things of the reason why we go to visit other nations. One of the reasons could be because they're coming for correction. The black people were coming to correct them. That stood out. And there was another reason that they were so excited about. Whenever they heard that we were coming to like give them gifts or to bless them, they were super excited. So it was one of two things. We were coming for correction, or we were coming to bless you. So when we were coming to bless them, they were so excited. They still, got everything ready, even if they were coming. They didn't know whether we were coming for correction or we were coming for blessings. They always acted the same way. They were super excited, and everybody reverenced like the black people, and everybody was on like had their faces towards the ground, and they were all bowing, and they were super excited because the men would bless them. They would come in, like give them blessings and all these different things. So that was the end of the vision. I just felt like I should share it because it's been heavy on my mind, but I feel like it wasn't my place to share it. But my cousin told me to share it because she was saying that sounds just like the kingdom of heaven. So I decided to go ahead and share it, and I hope that this helps anybody else who needed some encouragement or whatever. And I would also like to get some edification on this vision, because it's not very clear to me, especially someone who just came into the truth. So if you would like to share my video, please go ahead and do so, and please give me some help. And with that being said, thank you for watching it. Shalom.
Shalom. I want to start off by saying Kal Halal Yamla, Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushai, Ba'asham, Rekak Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone for teaching us this truth, and who rule well. Peace and salutations unto the Akim that is spread around the four corners of the earth, spreading this word and sincerity and the truth. I'm the brother Kotas Absayan, coming back through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai with another lesson, with another video, and Lord willing, this video is edifying. Gone. So what you just saw before I started this video is a video of a woman of the nation of Israel that had a vision, and her name is Yaisa. Yaisa. So what I sometimes like to do is to go into the meaning of a person's name, and that comes from the nomen est omen. That's a, how you call it? That's a saying, and that saying means the name is a sign. So it's kind of a prediction of what your life is going to be like. The name speaks for itself. So the elders always talk about that also, nomen omen, so nomen is omen. And with this sister, with this akhwat, I went into her name. So I looked it up, what it means. And of course, maybe her parents had a specific name for her, or they chose that, or that they maybe combined two names or whatnot. The Israelites like to do that. But this is what I found on the internet. A submission from Trinidad and Tobago says the name Yaisa means gift of God and is of African origin. According to a user from California, US, the name Yaisa is of Mexican origin and means flower and love. So this is what I found on the internet. But, we are Hebrew Israelites, so we go into the Hebrew. So what I did was, Genesis 18 and 25. So what I did was I went into the Hebrew and I typed in Yah, which Yah is he, and with an H at the end. I pressed enter, got a couple of scriptures, but the one that caught my eye was this one, Genesis 18 and 25. And if you go into that word Aisha, it means to do. And the Strong Concordance says, accomplish, advance, appoint, amped, to be at, become, bear, bestow, bring forth, bruise, to be busy. So the first part of your name means he, which spiritually looking at the matter, it looks like he is Yahweh, which Yahweh is the Heavenly Father, and he appoints. You see, let's read further. To dress, certainly have the charge of, commit, deal, deck, displease, do. To dress, to execute, exercise, fashion. These are the ones that caught my eye. To finish, to fit, fly, fulfill. So he fulfills. He's going to fulfill your destiny, Yaratazah, if you have the Spirit on you, To grant. Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to grant you mercy, Yaratazah, spiritually seeing, because you just came into the truth, and since April, and Yaratazah, Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to grant you mercy. So that's what Aisha means. And with the Yah in front, he will grant. You see? Gone. So, but going into your dream right now, you started off with a vision. And this is what the Bible speaks on. This is Joel 2, verse 28. It's Joel 2, verse 28. And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, meaning all flesh. So even the heathens are getting dreams now that Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is going to come and that he's going to bring a sore slaughter onto mankind. And your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. The men, they prophesy by saying the words of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, reading out the Bible. And your daughters will prophesy by dreaming. So when a daughter of Israel, she had dreamt, then she's prophesying, Your old men shall dream dreams, your young men shall see visions. And also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days will I pour out my spirit. God. So even the handmaids, which are the servants, they are also gonna have the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai poured upon them. As it says, it's gonna be poured upon all flesh. God, Salakia for that. But I got called for work. But yeah, to continue with the breakdown of the dream. Yeah, so she had seen a city of gold, and this is let me jump to the scripture. Is Revelations 21 verse 18 until 21. That's like gone until 21. This is Revelation 21 and 18. And the building of the wall of it was of jasper, and the city was pure gold, like unto clear glass. Gone. So that's what she saw. So when she saw this, then she also saw that the pavement was gold. So the whole city was glistening and glimmering in gold. Verse 19. And the foundations of the wall of the city were garnished with all manner of precious stones. The first foundation was jasper, the second sapphire, the third chalcedony, the fourth emerald, the fifth sardonyx, the sixth sardius, the seventh chrysolite, the eighth beryl, the ninth topaz, the 10th chrysoprasus, the 11th jacinth, the 12th an amethyst, and the 12 gates were 12 pearls. Every several gate was of one pearl, and the street of the city was pure gold, as it were transparent glass. Gone. So this is heavy, that you saw a vision of the kingdom without even knowing the scriptures. Yeah, you probably might know this scripture, that when you went to church, that you probably heard it once and then you dreamt about it. But this is very spiritual, that you dreamt that everything was gold, even the pavement was gold, the streets were gold. And further, you explained that you saw that children were playing in the streets, and this that goes into Zechariah 8 and 5. Let me see. Bear with me for a second, because I also had other precept, but yeah, let me start with this. Zechariah 8 and 4. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, there shall yet old men and old women dwell in the streets of Jerusalem, and every man with his staff in his hand for very age. And the streets of the city shall be full of boys and girls playing in the streets thereof. God, so that means we're going to dwell safely. We're going to be in a safe haven. It's not going to be like how it is now, that you're scared to let your child roam around the streets. That the predator is going to snatch him up and that he's going to get sacrificed because you have that strong bloodline and they want to get that adrenalized blood, the adrenochrome, out of your child. Because there are numerous children, and especially black children, missing in America that haven't been found yet. I have so many Amber Alerts and stuff like that, where people just lose their children because it's unsafe. God. So that's not going to be in the kingdom, man. You're going to have that our children are going to dwell and roam in the streets and dwell in safety. They are also going to have spiritual powers. They are also going to have, going to be immortal. As the scripture says, let me see. God. This is the book of Isaiah 65 verse 20. There shall be no more tents an infant of days, meaning that there's not going to be untimely death, that an infant that is a couple of days that he's going to die. There's not going to be no more tens an infant of days, nor an old man that had not filled his days. Gone. So he's going to be full of age when when he dies, you know, because back in the day we would live for hundreds of years, but now we have been shrunken and poisoned into the stature that we have right now. But in the kingdom, we're going to be back in our old status and our old stature. For the child shall die 100 years old, but the sinner being 100 years old shall be accursed. Gone. So the sinner that is going to be 100 years old, he's going to be accursed. But a child shall die at 100 years. You see? So even a child is not going to live until 8 years or 10 years. A child of 100 years. So you have to understand that, meditate upon that. 100 years is not for a child. 100 years, that means you're your grandfather, you know. But in the kingdom, a child is going to be 100 years. You're going to be considered a child if you're only 100 years. See? So let's go back to Zechariah 8. Because now she explained that we were of one mind and we knew what had happened unto us. And that's basically speaking about this. Zechariah 18 and 14. Zechariah 8 and 14. For thus saith Yahweh of hosts, as I thought to punish you when your fathers provoked me to wrath. This is the reason why we got punished. This is the reason why we are in this situation that we are in right now. That we are accursed, that we are being killed by the oppressor. We brought it upon ourselves because of our forefathers. So when your fathers provoked me to wrath, saith Yahweh of hosts, and I repented not. So the Most High, he didn't change his mind. That's what repentance means. So he didn't change his mind not to bring wrath upon Israel. Verse 15. So again have I thought in these days to do well unto Jerusalem and to the house of Judah. Fear ye not. God. So the Most High also promised that he was going to do well and do good unto the house of Jerusalem and the house of Judah. Jerusalem is the northern tribe, represents the northern tribe, and Judah represents the southern tribe. So fear ye not. Yahweh Shem Yahushua is gonna make good. He's gonna keep his promise, not because of our sakes, but because of his sake, because he made a promise to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and he's not gonna repent from that. Let's go to the book of Baruch for the infamous scripture, Baruch 4 and 6. For ye were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because you moved Yahweh to wrath, ye were delivered unto the enemies. For ye provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils and not to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. You see? So that's why we were put into the situation that we're in right now, because we moved Yahweh Shem Yahushai unto wrath, because we sacrificed unto devils, because of our forefathers. That's what our forefathers did. You see? But there's yet a remnant that is going to come back. And all of this, according to her dream, we knew all these things. Isaiah 65 verse 6 and 7 is Isaiah 65 verse 6. Behold, it is written before me, I will not keep silence, but will recompense, even recompense into their bosom, your iniquities and the iniquities of your fathers together, saith Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, which have burnt incense upon the mountains and blasphemed me upon the hills. Therefore will I measure their former work into their bosom. God, you see, so we moved Yahweh Hashem Yahushai onto wrath because of these acts that we did, sacrificing unto devils, burning incense upon high mountains, um, um, sacrificing swine's flesh upon the altar, stuff like that. So he said he's gonna recompense. He's not gonna keep silent. So that's what he's doing right now, especially yeah, because of the 2/3. That's what the 2/3 did. You see, the 2/3, their fathers did these kind of hideous things. So Yahweh Shem Yahushua is recompensing that unto their own bosom. That's why you see a whole lot of people are dying left and right now. So it's all coming full circle. The whole Black Lives Matters thing is because of Yahweh Shem Yahushua is putting out judgment. He's got hitmen out for these so-called black people, which they're actually Israelites, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Yahweh Shem Yahushua, who is our God, who is our power, he has a hit out on this nation because of their iniquities and the iniquities of their forefathers. And that's what's rousing Jacob also, you see, because the enemies are killing Jake, and then he comes with his Black Lives Matter. But that's all full circle. That's all the plan of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, because who is going to rouse Judah up? Yahweh Shem Yahushua, by doing these acts, you see. So let's go to the book of Jeremiah 31. Verse 34. Because this is the part where she also spoke about that we all had one mind, that we were in sync, that we were in harmony, that we were all loving towards one another. This is Zechariah 31, verse 34. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, Know ye Yahweh, for they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith Yahweh. For I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more. See? So they all will know Yahweh, from the least, from the children, until the greatest of them, So everybody is going to be in sync, in one accord. They're all going to know what happened and what righteousness is, why we went through what we went through, and they are all going to know that Yahweh Shem Yahushua is our power right now. You see? There's not going to be any untimely deaths, because we are going to be immortal, as she so beautifully described. And that leads me to one of my favorite scriptures, because Wisdom of Solomon 1 verse 15. For righteousness is immortal. Let me see. Gone. So righteousness is immortal, meaning we are going to be all righteous, as it says in the book of Isaiah. Bear with me for a second. Isaiah 60. Isaiah 60 verse 21. Thy people also shall be all righteous. So what did we just read? Righteousness is immortal. So being righteous is going to lead unto immortality. So let's read it again. Thy people also shall be all righteous. They shall inherit the land forever. The breach, Salakia, the branch of my planting, the work of my hands, that I may be glorified. God, so we are going to glorify Yahweh Shem Yahushai and going to inherit all the blessings that was explained in Deuteronomy 28. You see? We are going to be a huge nation. Verse 22, a little one shall become 1,000, and a small one a strong nation. God, because we are little right now. We are babes and, sucklings. We all are babes, except for the apostles, and the elders. So we, Yaratazah, some of us are gonna become 1,000, and some of us are gonna become a strong nation. You see, because in that day, we are gonna reproduce, because the 2/3 of our nation is gonna die, and we are gonna have to bring them back. So that means a lot of baby making, a lot of love making, you know. So that's what the scripture explains. That one little one, because we are little right now, we are babes in the truth, shall become 1,000, a small one, a strong nation. I, Yahweh, will hasten it in this time, in his time. Come, so let's go to 2nd Ezra 2, verse 45. He answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. Now are they crowned and receive palms. So this is all the scripture to show you that we are going to inherit immortality. You know, so it's not something that she just dreamt out of the blue. It's all scriptural. And then she saw Esau. She saw Esau outside of the gate. But Esau is going to be in a slavery for 1,000 years. Let me see. Gone. This is Revelations. This is Revelations 20, verse 5. But the rest of the dead live not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection, and the rest of the dead is speaking about these other nations. You see, they are gonna go back to their dwelling places as Yahweh Shem Yahushai has ordained it. But they all are gonna be in hardcore slavery for 1,000 years. You see? So the next thing that she spoke about, if my memory serves me correctly, is that she was in a spaceship, in a spacecraft, and those are basically the chariots of salvation, the chariots of the Most High. And we are going to be changed in the twinkling of an eye, as it says in 1 Corinthians 10, that we have to be changed to be able to go into these chariots. We have to be made all righteous. Because incorruption can't inherit the things like going into the chariot, because our flesh is not incorruptible. Our flesh is corrupt. You see. So that's what we use in her dream to go to these other nations. And the thing is, she said we went to Moabites, because the Moabites are the Chinese-looking people with big heads and flat faces. And she said that we went to correct them or to bless them. So that leads me back to Isaiah 60. Kind of one of the things that she also said is that all the women are going to be under their husband, and they are going to be glad to be under their husband. And that's speaking about 1 Corinthians 11, where it speaks about what the order is. So they're not going to buck up against us in the kingdom, because they're going to be in the right state of mind, because Eve on this side, the so-called black woman, is not in her good mind on this side, because she follows the serpent. She does everything that the serpent says so that she can get the benefits from the serpent. And the serpent is the so-called white man, because he comes with a snake tongue, trying to give her benefits, but he's breaking the family structure at the same time. He's devastating the children, making her get a huge ego, and destroying the foundation of the house. He's destroying the man. He's He's making a contract with the woman, with Eve, with the so-called black female, to help her break the so-called black man. Because it's not only the so-called white man that is trying to break us, but now you also have our females, our women, that they are against us. Yeah, man, that's not going to be in the kingdom anymore. They're going to be in their right mind, and they're going to be happy also. So this is Isaiah 60, verse 11. Therefore, thy gates shall be open continually, the gates of the kingdom. They shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles. And the forces is speaking about the wealth. They are going to be bearing gifts. They're going to come to us bearing gifts. And that their kings may be brought. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted. So everybody is going to serve us. We are going to police the whole earth. Like how America is trying to be the police of the earth, the whole earth right now. But now we are going to inherit Yahutzah, the kingdom that I'm of that number. And that we are going to inherit the kingdom, and that we are going to police them. We are going to let everybody live by our laws, the most just laws of the Most High. You see? And that's how we're going to correct them. And the thing that she also said that they're going to get blessings from us. What is going to be their blessing? That we take their wives, that we take, slacking out their wives, that we take women of their nation as a wife, that we take their daughters. You know, that's going to be a blessing unto them, that they can be able to say that one of my daughters went to one of the elect men, which is the elect men is the horn of the people of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, which means the mountain, which means the governing body of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So that's how we're going to bless them, by taking their daughters. Amen. So, Lord willing, you got your answer. You got the breakdown from your dream. And Yahutzah, this video was edifying. I want to say, Kal Halal Yamla, Yahweh, Basham, Yahushai, Basham Reka Kodash, Shalom Akyam, Wa Akwatyam. Shalom.